Spiritual Teaching 282. Love each other. 1. God's divine enlightenment is manifesting itself before you in the form of human words to offer you a new teaching. Blessed is the one who is preparing himself by converting his heart into my temple of love, because he will be shown the true light when he listens to my word. 2. Come everyone and see my miracle of love. I have come to save sinners utilizing human spokesmen, who are also sinners, to give you my teachings. 3. During this era, I will make you aware of the power that I have given you. It is a power that comes from your spirit, not from your material body. Man is great, powerful, and wise because of his spirit, and not because of his material body. I refer to the one who follows the path of righteousness and obeys the will of his celestial Father, thus fulfilling the laws that govern the life of man. That individual feels that he is supported by powerful forces that will always guide him on a path of light, peace, and truth. 4. Disciples, this humble word is a spiritual gift that I have brought you to begin this new era. Although it appears simple and modest, it is another one of my master works. I have utilized human spokesmen to give humanity my divine teachings. This form of manifestation has a meaning, an essence, and is superior, as all humans will discover. 5. Behold how my divine thoughts are manifested through a human spokesman who, although impure, is able to purify himself during the moments of my manifestation to offer you spiritual nourishment. 6. What will I not grant you when you have purifying both your spirit and material body to welcome me? 7. Although you have little faith, love, and spiritual preparation, my teachings during this period have helped you to arise from your lethargic state. They have helped you to comprehend, to love, to study, and to become fully aware of your spirit. Previously, your spirit lacked life, similar to a barren desert, and it was unable to confront the ordeals of life. Now, these teachings are like an oasis in your journey through life, offering you the spiritual enlightenment and nourishment that will help you confront your ordeals. 8. If you make an effort to comprehend this teaching, you will become fully aware that without God man is nothing. 9. Behold a humanity, proud and arrogant of its accomplishments, which still astonish the generations of today. Those responsible for those accomplishments lacked love and faith in the divine and thus did not pray nor practice my law. They were only satisfied and proud of the marvelous world they had created with their scientific discoveries. 10. Man himself is going to destroy this marvelous world that he has created through his scientific discoveries, wars, struggles, and tears throughout the centuries. The moment is approaching when humanity will become fully aware of the instability and weakness of its deeds. Those deeds lacked love, justice, and a true desire for perfection. 11. Man will soon know that without God he is nothing. Only God can give him life, strength, and the intelligence to establish a harmonious existence between the spirit and the human part of man. 12. I have come to resurrect the world with my new teachings because humanity, through the past eras and centuries, has seen only death reigning. Why has death reigned on earth? It reigns because man fails to love his brethren. 13. Truly I tell you that love is the unchangeable force that moves the universe. Love is the beginning and the essence of life. 14. I am initiating a period of spiritual resurrection for mankind. During this period, the holy seed of love that I sowed in the second era will blossom. I sprinkled that seed while I was on the cross, announcing that when men love one another, following the example that I set, death will disappear from the earth. Life, instead of death, will reign among mankind and will manifest itself in each human deed. 15. Day after day, man is eating the bitter fruits that he has harvested from the tree of science. That tree was imperfectly sown by man because he neglected to develop all of his spiritual gifts and abilities. Then, how can he guide all of his scientific discoveries and deeds on the path of righteousness if he has only developed his intelligence and not his spirit or his heart? 16. Man has become similar to a beast. Failing to control his passions, he feels hatred toward his brethren, thirsts for blood, and wants to convert his brethren into his slaves. 17. If anyone believes that my doctrine causes man to lose his moral values, truly I say that you are greatly mistaken. I will prove this to the skeptics, to the arrogant, and to those who are materialistic during this period by allowing them to harvest the fruits of their science and to eat those fruits until they are satisfied. The time will come when their spirits will tell me, Father, forgive us. Only your power can detain the forces that we have unleashed due to our foolishness. 18. I will come to help them and to bring them peace, for they will have experienced much bitterness because of their pride. I will help them to live in peace and to meditate. They will then discover the value of spirituality and will practice it in each of their deeds. I will make them realize that life is similar to a musical harp with the strings representing love, spirituality, and science. However, man has not known how to play that musical instrument. He has failed to play the sweet note of love, the divine note of spirituality. 19. The time of judgment has arrived. I will ask some, why have you rejected me? And others, why have you persecuted me? Does an individual who truly does not know himself have the right to deny the existence of my kingdom? There is a difference between not knowing the truth or not knowing how to find it, or that it does not exist. If you believe that only those things that you comprehend exist, then I say to you that you are ignorant and arrogant. 20. Truly I tell you that whoever denies God and his kingdom is also denying himself. Whoever wants to rely only on his own strength, believing that he needs no one and that he can achieve greatness without assistance from God, will soon become lost, and his suffering will be very painful. 21. Where are those who truly are wise? 22. To be wise is to be able to feel my presence, to be guided by my light, and to do my will. To be wise is to comprehend the divine law and to love. 23. The individual who is loving strives to be helpful with his brethren and dedicates himself to practicing good deeds along the various paths of life. That individual knows that he needs to fulfill the will of God in order to carry out his elevated mission. O disciples, I want you to become wise so that you will help those who are confused and lost along their path of evolution. 24. True love, which is superior to the one felt by a human heart, is the fruit of wisdom. Behold how I, with my word, am able to sow wisdom within you and later expect the fruit of your love. 25. There are many ways of practicing good deeds and of comforting and serving your brethren. All of them are expressions of love. There is only one type of love, a love that is born from spiritual wisdom. 26. Some individuals may be practicing deeds of love through the path of science, others through the spiritual path, and yet others through the heart. There will be spiritual harmony through the union of all three. 27. Learn to distinguish among the different paths that exist. Also, learn to respect the different missions that your brethren are fulfilling. To do that, you need to keep an open mind, to make fair judgments, to be peaceful, and to comprehend things with wisdom. If you lack those virtues, you will overreact when you become aware of the various religions that exist and the many forms of worship and rituals that you never thought existed. 28. If you do not prepare yourself, you will feel confused and disturbed when you find yourself amidst that struggle that is approaching. 29. Those who are listening to my teaching, but who are not truly interested in comprehending it, will not be able to correctly analyze it nor to explain my doctrine to their brethren. However, there are others who truly want to comprehend the meaning of my word, feeling a great love for it and truly feeling it in their heart. They carry it in their spirit, their heart, and their mind. Each day they are comprehending the essence of my teaching more and more. 30. When these disciples become interested in acquiring more spiritual knowledge in order to love their brethren with greater perfection, you will observe their faces reflecting the beauty of kindness, charity, and great spirituality. 31. However, the face of none of those disciples would totally reflect the virtues of the Spirit, that superior being that dwells within each individual. What can I tell you about the spiritual world that exists beyond the material world? Those spiritual beings are able to perceive the material world through your eyes, your deeds, your words, and your thoughts. Those spiritual beings are able to manifest themselves through any human being and can communicate to the material world through the human mind. They are closely in touch with all incarnated spiritual beings. 32. If a human being strives to be virtuous, he will be utilized by enlightened spiritual beings who dedicate themselves to fulfilling high, worthy goals. However, if a human being rejects virtuous inspirations from elevated spiritual beings and allows himself to be inspired by lower spiritual beings, that individual will manifest low and impure passions. 33. I say to you that there is not a single human mind that is not influenced by the spiritual world. 34. There are many who might deny this. However, no one is able to prove that it is impossible for the human mind to receive thoughts and inspirations not only from spiritual beings, but also from other human beings, and even from me. 35. This revelation is for all of humanity. Once it spreads throughout the world, some will receive it with great joy, whereas others will ridicule it, reject it, and persecute it. 36. What will those who oppose my doctrine be able to do to prevent man from becoming spiritually enlightened on earth? What means could the unbelievers use to prevent that enlightenment from the spiritual kingdom? Who believes that he is not influenced by that universal force, the creative and living force of God? 37. I speak to your conscience, your spirit, and your mind. Also, I say to you that all humans on earth receive messages, ideas, and inspirations from other mansions in the universe. Just as you do not know where your spirit dwelt prior to incarnating on earth, you also do not know what beings communicate with your spirit. 38. I say to those of you who are listening to these teachings, do not assume that the human spokesmen whom I have utilized to transmit my teachings are pure of heart and virtuous for that reason. They are not pure and virtuous. They have simply been given the ability to receive and transmit my enlightenment in the form of words. They are the forerunners of the spiritual communication that mankind will attain in the future. Humanity will eventually realize that it has always been surrounded by light vibrating from the spiritual world. Man will then prepare himself spiritually to receive and transmit eternal messages from God in a perfect manner. 39. I say to a humanity who denies those things which it cannot materially prove, you are only aware of those material things that pertain to the world. If you knew a few things about the Spirit, you would not dare deny the existence, the influence, nor the communication of the spiritual world. 40. A great number of enlightened spiritual beings protect you. When you learn to unite with them in prayer, in thought, and in faith, you will experience an invincible and extraordinary strength in your life, helping you to never stumble again. 41. Man is also surrounded by an invisible world that is filled with darkness and confusion. Once man prepares himself to battle and resist those forces of temptation, he will experience a freedom and a peace that he has never experienced before. 42. Be aware that the human mind will never cease to receive inspirations and messages from my divinity and from the spiritual world. 43. Humanity is very attached to material things and greatly values them. Man has preoccupied his heart, his mind, and all of his senses with those material things. That is why he ignores and rejects all things that pertain to the spirit. If man would allow spiritual things to become his ideal, his senses would become more evolved, and he could not ignore what I have taught you today. 44. Man would know that the Spirit of God, through its essence, communicates with all spirits throughout the universe. With that knowledge and with great faith, he would seek to receive vibrations from my spirit, which offers strength, life, and enlightenment to all things throughout creation. 45. Truly I tell you that it is not impossible for me to communicate through the human spokesman. Rather, it is impossible for me not to be able to communicate through them. 46. I want you, my disciples, to develop sensitivity in your spirit and in your mind, enabling you to perceive all spiritual enlightenment. I want you to feel, believe, love, and obey that spiritual wisdom. 47. Once again I say to you that even if all of humanity were to intervene to prevent man from receiving spiritual enlightenment, it would never be successful because the life within man comes from my spirit. My spirit is present throughout all of creation. 48. You are listening to a doctrine that would appear strange in any other place. However, those witnessing this manifestation comprehend my doctrine. Also, they are aware that even though the sites where I manifest myself are modest and poor, these houses of prayer are sites where people respect the divine and gather to learn about spirituality so they can meditate and prepare themselves to receive the divine message. You are aware that I am communicating through the human spokesman and that the spokesman is not expressing his own ideas. The spirit of the spokesman receives my inspiration and enlightenment, and as they are transmitted through his mind, they become transformed into ideas that the spokesman expresses with words. 49. This is one of the beautiful gifts that your spirit possesses. I have revealed it during this third era so that you can become aware of some of the gifts that your spirit possesses. Later I will reveal other spiritual gifts to you. 50. To know yourself better, penetrate within your heart to discover your spirit. Otherwise, if you believe that you are only a material being, you would be rejecting your true essence and greatness. 51. If you are not interested in knowing the truth about your spirit, you will continue to be weak and ignorant. Thus, you will not allow your material body to reveal its true essence and all that it possesses. 52. The materialistic science of men has placed a very heavy load upon the shoulders of humanity. All human beings are weary and grieving during this period. However, I am awaiting all beings. 53. My people, invite your brethren who have fallen to this spiritual banquet. You will observe that some of them have acquired an abundance of scientific knowledge, and you will ask, what could they possibly lack? Nevertheless, their spirits are in a state of misery. 54. Come to me those who are intellectual, those who are dejected, and those who are weary of being in spiritual darkness. Come to me those who are spiritually confused and who have practiced hatred rather than love. I will give you rest, and thus you will realize that a spirit never becomes weary when it obeys the laws of God. I will let you penetrate into a science that never causes confusion. 53. My people, invite your brethren who have fallen to this spiritual banquet. You will observe that some of them have acquired an abundance of scientific knowledge, and you will ask, what could they possibly lack? Nevertheless, their spirits are in a state of misery. 54. Come to me those who are intellectual, those who are dejected, and those who are weary of being in spiritual darkness. Come to me those who are spiritually confused and who have practiced hatred rather than love. I will give you rest, and thus you will realize that a spirit never becomes weary when it obeys the laws of God. I will let you penetrate into a science that never causes confusion. 56. I am aware that many, because of their pride, will refuse to learn the divine teachings since they believe they know everything. However, they only need to listen to one of my teachings to become aware that they still possess the ability to love. In my presence, they continue to be like young children who are still able to weep. 57. My teaching of love is not designated only for those few individuals who have witnessed my manifestation through the human spokesman. I have brought this message to the world so that it will become known by all human beings. This message will reach all places throughout the world in many different forms. It will offer humanity the comfort promised to it since the Second Era. This will enable mankind to cope with those periods of great suffering on earth. 58. I have come to save man because he has descended to the lowest level of negative emotions, vices, and hatefulness. Although he has distanced himself from me, my voice will reach his spirit and tell him, I am with you, come to me, and seek my divine enlightenment. I will help you leave your state of spiritual darkness to attain spiritual peace. 59. Man will listen to my voice through his spirit. His spirit represents an inner temple within his being that he has not been able to destroy. 60. When you were a child, you lived in a state of innocence, like the flower of the rose bush. However, with the passage of time, thorns began to grow on the stems and the rose bush ceased to produce flowers. Thus, today humanity is also offering me thorns, as it did in the past. It is necessary for the wise gardener to prune the rose bushes so that they will produce flowers when spring arrives. 61. Separate for a few moments from the material things of the world and come to me in spirit. Humanity has not known for many centuries the correct way to pray to God. Thus, man has not acquired spiritual strength and enlightenment along his path with my love because he has prayed with his material senses rather than with his spirit. 62. Man prefers to practice idolatry, which has been like a poison, preventing him from experiencing the divine joy of spiritual prayer. 63. Man has experienced great misery because he does not know how to pray. Disciples, what spiritual strength can a human being possess to overcome the ordeals of life if he makes no effort to approach the fountain of life that exists in my spirit? He seeks me in the abyss and in places lacking love instead of elevating himself to regions filled with spiritual enlightenment. 64. Oh, if man during this period would understand the power of prayer, he would be able to accomplish many amazing deeds. However, he lives during a period of great materialism and has even attempted to materialize divine things so that he can touch and see them. 65. Noah, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, and Moses were my servants who knew the power of prayer. They gave unforgettable examples of the power of prayer to humanity, leaving their form of prayer as an example for all generations. 66. Where they prayed was not a concern because they knew that the temple of God was within themselves. Through their faith, they were able to feel my divine compassion. They had faith in my presence, in my justice, in my love, and in my wisdom. I subjected each of those individuals to a great ordeal. Those ordeals were so great that they will remain as a testimony for all people throughout all times. During their ordeals, they remained faithful, obedient, humble, and devoted to the Lord. 67. Because of their great faith and love, I responded immediately to their needs. Thus, I manifested my divine power through them. I only manifest that power through those who have great faith and goodwill. 68. Because of my love for you, I have come during this era searching for you in the abyss and in places of danger to save you, as a shepherd would for the sheep that he loves greatly. 69. If you wish to know what I will do with those who belong to this multitude, I say to you that I am going to unite them, bringing them from different places throughout the world in order for them to learn of this divine message. 70. I will convert you into disciples of this doctrine through my teachings. I will inspire you to share the good news with your brethren throughout the world once you truly understand the essence of my teachings and begin to practice spirituality in your life, leaving behind your traditions and mistakes. 71. This multitude will multiply and be as numerous as the stars in the heavens and sands of the sea, and they will take the good news and blessings to homes, cities, and nations where people hunger for peace, justice, and truth. 72. Do not forget that when you arise to fulfill that mission, you will be practicing the spiritual prayer, the prayer that I have inspired in you throughout the eras, and that you are recalling now. 73. Without the power of prayer, you will not be able to fulfill your mission nor to triumph over your ordeals, much less be able to teach your brethren the perfect form of prayer. 74. It will be necessary for you to offer evidence of the power of spiritual prayer, as did the patriarchs, guides, and prophets in the past. However, during this era, you will not offer the same evidence that was offered in the past because you need to remember that this is a different era and that humanity has evolved spiritually and materially. Therefore, the evidence that you will offer and the miracles that will occur because of your prayers will be unlike those of the past, although they will continue to astonish people. 75. To become worthy of God's charity when you request something through prayer, first you must lead a virtuous life, remembering to always practice charity, and second you must have a strong faith. Thus, you will become superior to all things on earth. Through your strong faith, you will be able to triumph over all ordeals and suffering. It will also make you less sensitive to pain, even helping you to triumph over death. 76. Truly, I tell you that with kindness and faith, you will be able to accomplish powerful and extraordinary deeds. Through those deeds, you will offer the best testimony of the power of prayer and love during this era. My peace be with you.